What it is. Vader Games in the building, Vader Games TV. We got another episode. Home and away. Home and away. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Those of you that are going to watch this on the playback, thank you. The comments, the support, always appreciated. Those that are with me live, we are going to have a fantastic combo. It's a bonus show. This is a bonus show. Home and away, second time this week. If you missed the first one that happened this week, you're missing out. You got to go back. You have to go back. Check out the show. Me and Daps. Those of you that are in this YouTube life, you know Daps. I believe he's heavy on Instagram as well. Amazing City fan. Tune in, enjoy the show. It's a conversation. Two fans just talking. Him home, I'm away, and we have a great convo. And I got a bonus show this week. A bonus show to be able to have the conversation with Martin from the Mancunian Way. We're going to have, I got some different questions. I have some different questions for Martin, but it's the same vibe. It's going to be the same, it's going to be the similar conversation because I'm all the way over here in Toronto, right? Like, I don't get a chance to be in the mix like that. And to be able to tap into the fan base, talk to individuals that get a chance to go to the games, be able to see it, smell it, touch it, get all five senses with regards to football and Manchester City. You got to connect with that. You got to connect with that. And I'm doing my part with this show. Hopefully those of you that tune in enjoy it as well. You get to be a part of the connection and hear what's taking place. But now look, you see the topics. All right. This is what I plan on asking Martin. It is going to be a short but sweet show. We're going to go through these topics. We're going to have the combo, but it's going to be a short and sweet one because, in all honesty, I've got a day free. I'm going to be taking the kids out for an amazing bike ride. We're going to hit up a few parks. So I'm doing this right now. And again, out here in Toronto, it is 10:28. So this is what we're going to do. And if you haven't been a part of this show, you're new. All right. Subscribe. Hit the like button. Hit me up with a comment. If there's something you see on the topics that you want something else to be dived into, let me know. The feedback is always appreciated, and this is a flow. This is a flow. I can adjust to it. You know what I'm saying? So let me know. We can get the combo going, and let me actually shout out CM City first in the building. Hello, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for the love and the support. And then we got Sean. What it do? Hey guys, Sean's in the mix. We're going to have a serious combo. I got some tough things to ask Martin, and I already said yesterday, if you happen to miss his show on the Mancunian Way, I was going to put him on the spot. I'm going to put him on the spot with a few questions because I need to know. And talking about topics on the screen that I didn't even plan to touch on, but just kind of came through this morning. What do we think of the morning news? What are the thoughts on, Pep's comments with Bernardo? What are I don't know if you've recently seen some of the revealed clips on the Manchester City YouTube, but they showed some of the behind the scenes on managing players, transfers, and the books. If you didn't see it, go check it out. I know that myself and Carl are going to have an amazing conversation with that because Carl gets all up into the finances. Also, Rich over at the Mancunian Way gets all up in it. So it's going to be fantastic to talk about. But let me do this. First things first, my peoples come first. Subscribe if you're new. Like, comment if you've been here before. And you know what? Without further ado, we got to do it the right way. Let's run the intro. Now, let me say this. If you're tuning in for the first time, if you're meeting me for the first time, if you're going to be meeting my guest for the first time, let me explain something to you. Martin, I stumbled upon Martin and his show just maybe it was like a meteor, like it was a rare meteor or a shooting star. I happened to be looking up Manchester City reactions, and then I came across his channel. It was live. I sat there for maybe over an hour listening to the banter, listening to the combo, and it sparked why I wanted this type of show. I wanted the ability to be able to have the conversations with fans that are there, with fans that have grown up Manchester City fans, and with fans that kind of hear things that there's no chance of me hearing on this side of the pond. No chance. So I'm very appreciative for him to not only give his time, but share his ideas. And this is a very generous person, very generous person. He's been so kind to have me on his show as well. So you have to take advantage of the knowledge that you're able to get from people, and not even so much take advantage, just appreciate it. Appreciate's the right word. So let me introduce Martin from the Mancunian Way. Thank you so much. He is the home fan. I'm the away fan, and we're going to have a fantastic combo. How you doing, Martin?
Is it morning, afternoon? I don't know where I am anymore with this.
Yeah. For me,
good morning
it's
to you. Afternoon to everybody else.
Absolutely. Thank you for being a part of this show. Hey, I've said it before. I love how we're able to have the conversation. It just flows. It's not forced, and it's like two guys, two friends meeting up at the bar. Or even for me, it's actually like, here's what I'm hoping that it ends up happening as the shows continue. It's like the same group of friends meeting up actually in the stands. You have your seat, I have my seat, and we're just talking. Unfortunately, I'm talking as if I'm there, but obviously this is the beauty of the internet. I'm not sure if you got a chance to see the topics over here. We're definitely going to go through that. And I'm instantly going to put you right on the spot, because I have to know, how do you prep for your home game? Because I know, and it was a beauty, and if you guys missed out, Martin actually chose not to go to the first game of the season. I think he made efforts to want to see that with family. You stayed home and watched the game with family. So I'm curious if there's a difference in terms of how you prep for a game you're watching at home versus how you prep for a game you now go into the stands for.
No, not really.
Okay.
I don't. I mean, when I had the shows, and we used to do, anyone knows them in QD, we used to do watch alongs. So it was very much all, hands to the pump, an hour and a half, 2 hours before get going. And, we were always live an hour before the team news came out. So we were literally like 2 hours before the game live for 5 hours, and off we went all the way through. So you sort of have to come out of the game mode a little bit to go into host and stream mode. But the one thing I do is, what you see me now is how I am at a game. So if I did a watch along and we score a goal and I am screaming and jumping around, that is how I am at the game. There's no act, there's no show.
Okay.
That is the one thing I've always said is, the way you see me now is the way you would see. I'm exactly the same. You meet me in person or at a game.
Right. So your reaction in real time is the exact same way.
Emotion.
Got it.
And that's why I don't want to do all this. Well, golf clap, yippee, because that's not how you react in a game.
Right.
You don't go, oh, jolly old good, and you scream and you get upset when players, and if players make a mistake, I will say the exact same thing on air as what I would say at the ground.
Okay.
Because that's just the way it is. In terms of, I've been going for such a long time. It's, I'm one of the dinosaurs the legacy customers, as they call us now.
So let
I'm
me
meant
ask
to
you.
move out, and I'm meant to move out soon. I'm
They're
going
trying
to
to
move
move
out
you
to
out.
Aston soon.
Well, I want to ask you because obviously you don't have to travel when when you're doing when you're watching the game at home. You probably don't have to eat as much before you go because you'll just go to the kitchen during halftime or whatever it may be. But I want to ask, is the prep time, like, is the get out of my house heading to the stands, is that a process, is that a challenge?
It it's changed. It's literally gone through stages. And if you don't mind, I'll sort of go
I'd
through
love to hear
in
about
my
the change.
stage.
Yeah,
You
I'd
don't,
love to hear about the change.
obviously, well, when I first went, I went with my father. Now, my father never went to a lot of games because he always worked at a weekend. And I
Okay.
was always Manchester City, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go. And then in 1989, my father said, right, I've got your tickets. But he didn't tell me where to.
Okay.
So I'm like, you know. So my very first experience, I couldn't be excited. I couldn't be anything because I had no idea where I'm going. I could have been going to watch, cricket for all I know and become the world's biggest cricket fan. I didn't
So
know.
all he said was, "I got you tickets," not
Yeah,
anything more
that
than
was
that.
it.
Okay.
I've got tickets. We're going out for the day. Right,
Okay.
okay. What'd you do at that point? It was January. It's freezing. I'm a young lad. I'm like 6, 7 years old. I'm not sat there in the middle of going,
Okay.
So in a sort of way. But then, I was sort of growing with my dad and my sister, and it was always a ritual to do that. Good evening, Sean. Hope you're all right, buddy. It was always that. I always had that excitement. I mean, it depends. I mean, do you want me to do my first game, the emotions going into Main Road, or do you
I
want me to do it stage by stage? You tell me, mate. It's your show.
Yeah. So what? This is the challenging part because I want you on a lot more shows in the future. So I
Yeah,
don't I don't want to get all of the gems now. What
you
I'd
just
like to
want the
fo-
trouble,
I'd like to
the trouble
understand
and the
the
emotion.
travel, the travel and maybe even also the difference in terms of, hey, I know I'm going to a game even if it was like 20 years ago. I know here's how long it's going to take. Here's what I got to
Mhm.
plan for versus today. Maybe it's got its own different headaches. It's got its own different challenges. But let me actually center it around now. Going to this first home debut, did you notice any big differences from even last year from coming to the grounds, getting to your seat? Because from what I understand, you sat in the family stands.
Yeah, I've been all over the show in that stadium.
All right.
You showed me a start seat and stand, and I've generally sat in it. I've been everywhere in that stadium. Yeah, me and my lad. I'm in the family stand simply because I go with my lad who's 12. So,
Okay.
and to get me and my lad, funnily enough, to get me and my lad season tickets in that stand was cheaper together by a long way than where I was originally.
Oh wow.
Me and my own.
Okay.
Because that's what City do. City look after families, and that's why it's the family stand. As long as you've got
Nice.
someone under 16 with you, they're getting a ticket for less than £100. I'm getting a
Okay.
ticket for mine combined. It was literally I'd save nearly £400-500
Wow.
for 2 tickets compared to where I was, and I wasn't in the Tunnel Club. I was in no posh. I was in the Colin Bell. I was in Colin Bell lower
Okay.
level
Okay.
one, which
Nice.
is other than the Tunnel Club is the most expensive part of the ground, unless you start going into corporate boxes and suites and all
Right.
that sort of thing. So yeah, when we moved, this season was a lot different. The first home game last season, I was in a stage. If anyone's watched the channel, I'd sort of had enough of football last year.
Okay.
The very first home game last year, I wasn't excited as much simply because we'd had that. I felt drained with football a little bit.
Wow. All right.
I think it was after COVID and after the pandemic and
Yeah.
everything. And if you remember, that was like, it felt like 2 or 3 seasons rolled into one of just going bang, 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 bang. If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. The best value in the country, if not Europe. So this season it was totally different. I got me mojo back, my edge back, the excitement was back, and we rocked up. I took me, my father, my son, and it was this year's a bit more special anyway because I'm going with my dad. And my dad's not very well. I was so you know what it is, but everyone else, I won't go. I'm not gonna. Well, no, I will. I've announced it everywhere else. I'm not bothered. My dad suddenly got Alzheimer's.
Okay.
So this year was a point now of make memories as much as I can, and to go on Saturday was so special for me.
Nice.
To have my dad and my son and me, and when you get that 3 generations, it was everything. It was that. It was Haaland. It was the whole kid caboodle, and you go in, wow. It felt special again this year.
It absolutely is, and to your point, to be able to have it with the 3 generations, that is a special moment. I would pray. I'm sure you took a picture of it, but it's moments like those where it's like, yeah, you're experiencing something, but it's who you experience it with, which makes it amazing. So I love to hear that, and I'm sorry to hear with regards to your father, but
no, it's fine. I'm sort of open with it now. It's been going on for a few months, but I'm open with it now. So
okay,
yeah.
And so you go to the game.
Yeah,
it's the energy is obviously different. Change of players, start of a new season. Let me ask you this: the noise, the commentating, what they're putting on the jumbotron inside the stand. Did you notice now like different programming or like a different approach to get the crowd going? What was your take on that?
They've changed it all outside the stadium. So we have something outside called City Square. Okay. Now it was generally everyone's probably heard of it. It's a stage, and they have all the food outlets outside. You can get your £9.50 cheese toasty and all that. People like to call them. But the simple fact is it was always to get guests on and they get fans up, or they'd have a band on or something. This year they've changed it. What they've done now is put a big LED sort of curved screen up. And they've literally, it's more about outside the ground than it is inside the ground. Which is, funnily enough, there's not a huge emphasis played on, like on the big screens. There's really not.
Okay.
It's more of in the concourse and outside where you get the pre-match, let's get going. Okay. Now, that's not for everyone. I won't lie. Which tells you that, like MC said, there's not a big emphasis on, come on, let's get going. They announce the teams and they're like, here we go. Everyone, home of the champions. And you get that initial couple of minutes, but there's not like, I've been to all them athletic games in the past, and they have like when there's a corner, come on, Oldham. Back when we were at Main Road, when City had a corner, they put on the screen like a hand clapping, going, come on, City, come on, City. They don't do that at the Etihad. Okay. That's not there. They're totally not there now.
So they don't post it, but is it still happening organically with the fans in the South Stand or in the
110%. I mean, there's one thing that hasn't changed in the last 12 months. It's now a lot more fireworks, smoke, fire.
Yeah, those pyrotechnics.
It's gonna be NFL. I'm trying to make it out. You would say it more. So it's gonna be an NFL.
Okay.
That's not for everyone. I understand that there are old school blues who are a bit, we just want the generic smell of the pies, smell of everything else, and we'll just naturally sing. That doesn't happen anymore because you've got to remember we're not in the old style stadiums anymore.
Can I ask you this?
Main Road was like a blind architect had built it, so you had to generate everything around it.
Fair. Let me with now with when they're playing, even with regards to like maybe playing some of the player songs, or or even any of the chants that may happen, is that sparked just via the fans in the stands, or is
Yeah.
there sometimes okay.
There's never, ever a queue. You'll get the stadium announcer announcing the teams, and he might go like Bernardo, and then you're off.
Yes,
That's
nice.
it, though.
Okay, right.
They do Blue Moon when they're sort of doing it, and the fans sing along to that. But
Yes.
it's the more rocky, get you going sort of version than the original.
Okay.
Blue Moon.
Right. That you would hear at the end of the game.
Yes.
Right.
But other than that, it generally all starts in the south stand and reverts round. And sadly, that has probably been lost in modern stadiums, because what you'd have at Main Road, for example, you would have each stand competing with each other. So you're like, go, this is the Kipax, we are the North Stand, and you'd sit competing with each other to sing songs. You get that a little bit, but this is the problem with modern stadiums, which is why they brought safe standing in. They're trying to build these atmospheres back to the old days. That's what you're trying to do. But sad, there's a lot of. I mean, I'll be honest with you, it's not great because 15 minutes in, you've still got people coming in.
Okay.
What do you do at that point? There's not.
Right.
Then 15 minutes left to go, people are leaving.
Yeah.
So it's a difficult one. It is a very, very difficult thing to gauge. But naturally is what happens. The fans have to get it going. There's none of this. They have DJs on Champions League nights.
Well, I want to ask you because I heard that DJ was introduced.
You don't want to ask me, mate. You don't want to ask me.
No, I do. I absolutely do.
Yeah.
Try to say, okay, if you don't want to be as direct as you would naturally do, you could save it. If you want to save that for your show, that's fine.
No, mate. I've said it loads of times on my show.
So what do you think of the addition? Honest. Awful. Is it too North American? Is it too?
It's awful.
Okay.
It's not the Hacienda. It's not Discotheque Royale. It's not a nightclub.
Okay.
Do you understand? It's like, I don't mind at night games when they take the lights down and they have the laser shows. That's pretty good because everyone gets the phone out and they all love it and they enjoy it, and it does look a nice presentation.
Okay.
But when you've got a woman or sometimes a man in a corner faking DJing, because that's what they are doing. This is not a real DJ, because you can tell, because the woman, bless her poor heart, she's not in time with the music that is going on. The music's ending and she's pretending to spin. I don't know what is going on here. And it's generally in the corner of the south stand, and I'm sat there going, okay, what is this? What's
now when is it
goal? I'm trying to get. What's the goal behind that?
But when is this DJ music energy happening? Is it at halftime? It's not.
No, before the game.
It's before the game. Okay, it's before the game.
It's generally on night games, Champions League games, and I now know from this season to put one in the south stand. That'll go down well in the south stand. Trust me, that's not the place you put it.
Okay, well we're gonna have to revisit that for sure. So, and CM City said, traveling, definitely leaving the stand after the game, and I've heard this before from a few fans. It is tough. It is tough. It's always like a bottleneck. There's so many people trying to get out.
It's onto one road. That's all it is. You're literally all coming out onto Alan Turing Way, and it's just, and then you're trying to get all. You've got everyone trying to go down to like the old gasworks and Briscoe Lane and Oldham Road. Anyone, by the way, I'm throwing you out names here of roads that are around the stadium, so I do apologise. You're thinking, what are all these roads?
No,
and then you've got others over to Ashton Road. But I mean, the car parking's shocking. It just is.
So if you have your
And-
choice,
Yeah.
are you taking transit into the
No, I
stadium?
drive.
You'd still drive.
Yeah, because I have disabled parking. So, by the way, with disabled parking, it's still shocking getting out.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not
All
easy.
right. Fair.
Still shocking getting out.
Sean goes, LOL, was just thinking about that. Bad spot for a DJ. DJ in the South Stand, he's saying
Yeah,
bad
it
idea.
wasn't the greatest idea to stick it there, if I'm honest with you, but hey ho.
And CM City says it takes over an hour to get out of there. I'm
And
curious.
that's why people leave early.
Right. Yeah.
The
But now,
announcement on Saturday. Oh, just sorry, mate. Just one second.
yeah, go ahead.
The announcement on Saturday. 10 minutes in the 80th minute, they announce. This is no joke because I'll laugh my head off at this. 80th minute on Saturday, because of the heat, and it was hot, and I understood that. Because we have a Metrolink outside that takes you to different, obviously into town or Ashton or wherever you want to go. And they announced in the 80th minute, due to the warm weather conditions, there is now only going to be one Metrolink every so often. There's a delay and there's reduced service. I'm
so
not
now
kidding you. About 5,000 people went at that point.
Yeah.
So this is what I mean. That just automatically kills an atmosphere. You're 4-0 up in the 80th minute, 78th minute, bang, that announcement comes out, see you at 3,000 or 4,000 walk out the door.
Yeah.
What do you do at that point?
Yeah.
And I know they've got to do it, but everyone then starts hitting the panic button to get out the door.
Yeah. That's going to lead me to, before we wrap up the show, there's still a lot more to talk about. But the last question I'm going to have for you, and I'm not sure if you saw it on the timeline, but the invasion of the pitch last season, there's now been
a charge.
A charge against the club. So we'll definitely talk about that. So stay tuned, guys. Now, the match is happening, right? It's the first home game. Energy's amazing. What did you think of the energy of the players? What did you think of the movement? How the players looked with regards to attacking Bournemouth?
Hard. Game of 2 halves. Simply down to weather. Simply down to weather. You know, as we know, Manchester is not Marbella. It is not. It's not USA. It's not the Maldives. It's not Bora Bora. You know, we're Manchester, and that's the way we are. But over the last sort of 12 months, it's got hotter. We're now getting 40-odd degrees, 38 degrees. And I think we all kind of knew what was coming because in the first half, we were brilliant. The tempo was amazing. And then second half, when you're 3-0 up, Bournemouth stops the game. It's like even Kevin De Bruyne said it, didn't he? Training game. But the trouble is, that then kills the atmosphere because sometimes you need the fans to G the players up and sometimes you need the players to G the fans up. And we were both at the exact same level in that second half. We were all hot, tired, bothered, game over. Right, what do we do?
Yeah.
So everyone stops. The Bernardo thing lifted everyone.
Okay.
Obviously, with the song, that got everyone going again.
Okay.
But that's 5 minutes and then stops.
Yeah. Okay. But before we get even that far into the match, 6, 7, 8 minutes into the match, I'm loving the build-up. I'm loving how the ball's being moved around. I'm loving the chances that are being created. And really, 7 minutes into the match, Foden has an excellent City, I should say, have an excellent opportunity to score. The ball's at Foden's feet. He has the choice. Even in the moment, I'm watching it on the screen. You're in the stands. I'm not sure what kind of angle you had in terms of seeing that play, but I'm yelling at the top of my voice for that to be squared. He takes the shot. I'm not mad at it because as a forward player, as an attacker, you're gonna make that choice. But he clearly had the easier, higher percentage option to square the ball. What was that like in the stands at that time? How was your angle? like, did they play it again on the jumbotron? What did you? What?
No.
Okay,
There was a lot of. There was one or two things missed off the screens.
okay,
Normally, they will replay every goal unless there is some sort of controversy or
right,
a VAR decision. So, say you score a goal and it's like, oh, suspiciously offside, but the ref's
yeah,
giving it. They won't show it then.
smart, of course.
It's like because
Yeah,
they're not silly.
yeah,
Now, obviously, I'm in the what they call the North Stand, which is the family stand. It was down at the South Stand. Now, I could see it. I'm sort of 10, 11 rows up, so I'm sort of eye level with it all, rather than if I was level 2, level 3, I'd have probably had a better view. But I did see it at half time. There didn't seem to be a big, like you
okay,
get sometimes this sort of announcement of disappointment, and didn't seem to be that a lot of, if I'm totally honest with you. Because I'll be honest with you, a lot of people were a bit more surprised in the stadium that Foden had gone at halftime. Now, but it's like I said to you, I think they've still got to get used to Haaland.
yeah. So
I think
the reaction in the stand wasn't overly critical
no.
of
Do you remember
Foden.
do you remember the Madrid game last year in the Champions League when Mahrez didn't do the exact same thing?
Yes,
There was a 10 times worse reaction to that than there was to Foden.
yes, but and all fairness, because of the magnitude of the match, of
And the
of
players,
how
as a
and the
lot of people
players
saying
and the
the year
late in the
before.
and the point in
Yeah.
the season. I think it's also the level of competition too, like knowing how less frequent those chances may happen against against Real versus now Bournemouth. Now the stands, or sorry, the fans and everyone not killing Foden for it totally makes sense. 7 minutes, 8 minutes into the match. I do think that it was definitely observed by everyone. Myself, I have the vantage point of watching it like via TV. So there's commentators that I'm hearing. You're not hearing any commentators. You're amongst your fellow fans. But it was interesting to point out that that was the clear decision that should have been made at the time. But also, I think the reaction that I paid most to was Haaland. So when Foden
I
takes the
can't
shot,
see that.
I
That's
know, I
showing
know,
advantage.
yeah,
This is why I watched the show with Dabs the other day, and you know what? He's spot on sometimes. Fans in the stadium don't always get the best view
yeah,
than someone watching it on a television. You can see everything live, bang, bang, bang. Right, I can see a reaction because no doubt the camera went straight to Haaland's face or to Pep's face. One of
right,
the two, the face it would have gone to. Haaland or Pep to see the reaction, or they might have done both. We don't see that.
right,
And we do not see that because they say it doesn't come on, and they never ever show reactions on the screens.
right,
They'll show the passage of play, the goal, and that's it.
yeah, yeah,
They never
and
show Pep's reactions or anything.
no, and that's what the programming of TV is all about, right? Like they'll show
Of
a
course it
replay
is.
of exactly. Now Holland's reaction though, and again, this is the beauty of when you actually go to attend games, you have the energy, you have your fellow friends around you, you have the same people that you kind of see week by week because of your season tickets, so you have that camaraderie. When you're watching it now on TV, or if you after watching the game live and in person, you then will also go back and maybe watch highlights because you'll see things differently or from a different angle. But the
Oh,
reaction
while
from
you're
Holland,
there.
oh right,
By the way, I will say the amount of people say there's a penalty decision, phones start coming out.
are you kidding me?
No, I'm not. I'm really not. And this does happen. Any fan who's in that stadium who said they don't do it, they are lying. I'm telling you now, it happens. You will see people around you. So, for example, say there's a penalty decision, and you go, not sure. Was that a penalty? You have a texting mate who's watching it, or you're looking for the instant replay on Twitter that appears.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I'm telling you now.
is
And you
hilarious.
go, look, my mate said it's a penalty. Look, it's a dead cert penalty, but he's not giving it, especially with the VAR decision. All phones
That's
come out with
hilarious.
VAR.
Okay.
Because you've got to remember, with VAR, we are blind as a bat in there.
Yeah.
We hear nothing. We see no replays.
Right.
All we get on the screen, not all the time, is possible VAR, possible penalty checking.
Right. Right.
That's it. And we might be there for 5 minutes, stood there going,
you know what?
Lovely colour sky, this.
I think,
So what do?
Yeah. I think they're missing a trick there, honestly. I know that they don't want to show any footage that would actually go against City, right? So you may not want to continuously show a replay. However, I think they're missing a trick.
Don't do it because if the referee, what I've heard from the FA is, and this is every stadium, they don't do this. They don't do it because, say, it's 50-50 on the decision. All the home fans are going to go, penalty. Wah! If that referee then goes, no penalty, what's going to happen? you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what they'll do is, we'd rather keep this lot in the dark here.
Yeah.
It's
they're
like
missing. They're missing a trick though. They're missing a trick though, because I think, because there's an energy that they could best manage with regards to that.
That's his account manager at the moment, just on the phone. He's just telling him he's just made himself another cool 50K, 50 G's. Is it dollars? Dollars in Canada. And by the way, hello CMC, Edison, Sean, the nameless one, everyone in the chat. Thank you for joining us. And if you are not subscribed to Vader, please do. He's an amazing fella. Please subscribe and like him.
Apologies for that.
Sorry, I was just telling him while you were on the phone to your account manager.
Yeah, you got to keep that quiet. But yeah, I think they are missing a trick with regards to the energy and obviously the fans in the dark, because the energy goes from what's the possibility to be like, okay, now we just wait. But we're gonna have to talk. We're gonna definitely have to talk about that as well. So Foden doesn't square it. Cool. Now Gundogan opens up the scoring, and I know that there's agendas out there. I know that a lot of rivals or even neutrals or pundits or whatever, for many of them, they actually want to see Haaland not succeed or not be the big guy that everyone's touting him to be. But I know he didn't score, but what he did with regards to that assist, how was that recognized or noticed amongst the home fans?
Loved it. The thing is, everyone around the world thinks we're all sat there breathing when Haaland touches the ball and sort of expecting. Yeah, of course there is that extra excitement and everything else. But do you know what there is? We know as fans that people are desperate for the guy to fail.
Yeah.
Desperate. So if we start getting on his back because he has 3 touches, you're just putting fuel onto a fire that you don't really want to add to. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, City fans are generally very honest and open. They know how hard the Premier League is. And to come in after 2 games, it generally takes a year, whether you're young, old, or whatever, it takes a year.
Great point.
And City fans, 99% of them will always give that year to 18 months to act. Yeah. Always will. So we never, ever get on anyone's back in terms of straight away. I know there is with Grealish and that, but I told you Grealish is Marmite. They either like him or they hate him. That is just where they are with Grealish, sadly, at the minute. But with Haaland, of course, there's an expectation. He is get you off your bum sort of player. You can see Haaland gets the ball in dangerous area and the stadium starts all
Yeah.
standing up. But there's also the realization of we've not had a striker for 18 months. It's a new way of playing. I mean, I use that analogy on my show when you were on about the car going from automatic to manual and manual to automatic, whichever way you want to do it. That's what we're now doing. But also to counter that as well is, this is my old point with Grealish, and I'm sorry I've gone into the weeds here, but it's the best way I can really make this analogy of. Haaland is not the only superstar we have. It's Kevin De Bruyne, it's Phil Foden, it's Bernardo Silva. There's Ruben. Do you know what I mean? So everybody, it's like coming to the the Harlem Globetrotters and go, hello, in you come. It's just a piece in the jigsaw. Very good piece, very important piece, but it's not like, wow, it's great we've got Haaland, but it's going to sound really awful, this. City fans don't linger on stuff.
Yeah. No.
We get excited, we move on.
Yeah. And it's a great trait, and it also allows there to be a certain calmness because you know that it's by collective, you know that it's a team effort, you know that individuals are all going to step up if someone slips. But the reason why I thought it was interesting to note, because, and I've said it before, I'm not killing Foden for it, but I think it was a great reminder that, hey, things are different now. You can look for things to be, the approach can be different in terms of we've got someone in the middle that you can definitely look for before making some of those decisions. And Gundo dismissed everything. It wasn't even a problem because he had scored, I think might have been like 8 minutes later. But he got onto the score sheet. It was a beautiful goal, an assist from Haaland. So great to see. And then after that, we've all said this, but we probably already saw maybe the goal of the year. Definitely, I think the goal of the month from what KDB did. And that was smooth. That showed experience, that showed savvy, and it showed confidence. And I loved his goal. I absolutely loved his goal. And next up was Foden, and Foden made the best of a pass from KDB that I think it was a little behind him, and we were off to the races, right? We were off to the races at that point because.
Can I ask you a question just on this? It's just something I've heard today, and I've never heard it described in that way. What's the reaction to Foden goal you've seen? Because I've heard it's rougher, hit the defender, hit the goalie, and rolled in. I'm like,
it wasn't. So here's the beauty. It wasn't that of a scruffy goal because I think he made the best of kind of like being out of position with how he received the pass. But the fact that he put it on target with some power, he made it a difficult save because even from a keeper standpoint, I think the keeper might have expected maybe a little more of a wind up from Foden. Like he really just caught it and put it on net, and it was a really good effort. And I think that's what I sometimes want to yell at our team for. Like, let's put some shots on target. Like, let's test the keeper, and that's exactly what he did. I thought it was good.
That's the thing with Foden. Sometimes you're damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Yeah,
fans, because you get people outside going, "Oh, it's boring football. It's terrorist football. It's new terminology. I have no idea where that's suddenly."
Yeah, we can't be accused of that. We cannot.
You know what I mean? And it's like I sat in that stadium going, bonk. So many City fans sitting there saying, go shoot at Rodri, they go shoot at Walk. And then when people actually shoot, we're going, well, he should have squared it. So I was like, come on, you can't win here.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It was a good save. Why don't we give the keeper some credit at the same time? It's all been about the negativity on Foden, and the Bournemouth goalkeeper's been forgotten in all of it.
Yeah. No, he put up
Haaland. I mean, you might be able to tell me. I didn't look like Haaland was going. Rah.
Okay, sorry. Yes. So sorry, I mistook what you said. So when Foden had that opportunity and took the shot and it got saved, That he was well balanced. I think he picked his spot. I think he could have made it tougher on the keeper, but the keeper did rush out and covered that angle. And that's why, with the keeper rushing out, I'm now watching it on TV and I'm saying, no, he should have squared the ball. Because once the keeper's momentum's coming forward, then make him have to change direction,
Well,
pass
you
the
can
ball
tell
to
me
Haaland.
that this is the beauty you've got. You can tell me how I don't know how Haaland reacted to that.
So Haaland, when the ball got saved and then resulted in a corner, Haaland, like, you know how he squats kind of wide, and I think he slammed the ground, or he hit his thighs. I think he did that. Like the ball could have come to me type thing, and it was him and Mahrez as well. So that was his reaction. But again, I like the reaction because it's not you screwed up. It's like, no, like, I'm here. It's kind of like, I'm here. He's not killing Foden for it, but it's like, mate, look, I'm here for these, right? So and you love to see that. And then also, as we talked about, Gundogan scores, KDB scores, Foden scores, and Foden scores, runs near to the flag, turns around, and everyone's swarming him anyways. So Haaland was one of the first to congratulate him and pat him on the back or pat him on the head and say, good goal. So I love that reaction. Now at halftime, we're up 3-0. Foden gets subbed. And my thinking is, I don't know if there was a reaction within the stands amongst the home fans, but I believe that it was like, hey, you're subbed off. This is a learning moment because we need to play our style of football and we need to be squaring those opportunities. So let me also make sure that now being subbed on for Grealish executes what I'm asking as well. So and again, Foden's going to get his starts again. He's not going to be the doghouse. It's not something that's going to be long term. But I thought that was the approach with regards to the sub. Was there a lot of whispers or questions with now Foden not starting that second half?
Well, again, everyone's back to phones.
Right.
Was he injured? I'd say. So everyone thought as he took a knock. Nobody fully knew. There was probably some fans in that ground who thought, yeah, Foden's been taken off because he didn't square it to Haaland. But I don't think the majority of City fans wouldn't have thought that because people wouldn't have thought Pep would be that ruthless. Now, Pep's come out since and said, I did it to give him and Grealish a half each.
Right.
Because he said Grealish didn't deserve to be dropped. And you know what? I mean, I'm inclined to agree with him.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it should have been Foden and Grealish both starting again.
Yeah. I remember that.
I should have been Foden, right, Grealish. As you know, I've told you 2 or 3 times on that. And again, that's no agenda on Mahrez. But the only thing I would say is, okay, then let me throw a question to you. Who was more impactful in the game for you, Mahrez or Foden?
Oh, no, Foden was more impactful on that game.
Why was Mahrez not taken off then?
Because I think him not squaring was a factor. Him also, Pep coming out and saying that he wanted to get Grealish another half was important. And I think because Mahrez hasn't gotten that form yet, he gave him an extra half.
Do you think he's playing him into form?
I think he's trying to play Mahrez into form, into being in the right spots, into making the right reads. I think that was the thinking there.
And listen, I'm not, because it could have been Alvarez, it could have been anyone that he's brought on. When you think about it, I probably do think there's probably some credence to that, not squaring it like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, I mean, everyone likes to see Pep as a nice guy, don't they? No one wants to see Pep as this ruthless head teacher who comes in, but we all know he does it. We all know he does that. So, yeah, you got to remember. I mean, you've got to remember Foden. He's such a young lad still. Right. He's learning. Yeah. He's such a young lad. And do you know what? Foden's going to be one of them players you'll look at in 5 years and you'll go, is he still playing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because everyone will have forgotten how old he is. He was when he got going.
It's kind of like Jesus, right? Like Jesus seems like he's an old man, but he arrived at 18 or Yeah.
Well, and do you know what? Here's the big thing. Where is Foden's natural position? His natural bang position should be really where.
You know what? This is gonna sound crazy. I don't think it's defined yet. I don't, because I
You
can
know,
see him playing wide. I can see him playing I can see him playing in the center of the pitch.
see, that's
Like,
where I see him. I see him as a centre mid eventually. But if you look at Pep, he doesn't like youngish players in that middle. He likes an
yeah,
experienced head. He loves Gundogan. He loves Fernandinho. He likes Busquets. He likes Xavi. He likes Iniesta. He likes maturity, experience in that middle. And the thing for me, I mean, maybe it's me. Maybe I don't like to think that Pep's done that over one pass. Maybe that's me as a person.
I think the subs shouldn't be seen as being harsh anymore. I think being subbed off isn't always, shouldn't be seen as a punishment, as you're not good enough today. I think sometimes it can be a tactical decision. It could be, again, like you said in the press conference, I want to give both of you guys 45 minutes of league play. It's not, it's not a negative, but it's also, you're subbed off. Here's what I want you to be aware of. Here's what you played. Here's how you played, and here's where there's still opportunity to improve. I don't think it needs to be seen as negative as maybe subs have seen it has been in the past.
Do you think it's the shock of Pep making subs so early?
I love it. It is shocking. It is very different from what we've seen from Pep.
No, that's played into people's minds up.
Yeah,
because instead of people like you just said, maybe Pep's just changed his philosophy with 5 subs. He knows it was a hot day, wanted to change it. But as fans of human beings, we've always got to look for that little bit of, is the tension? Is there an argument? Is there a bit of negative? Do you know what? And that's just human nature, because as humans, we thrive on a bit of gossip and a bit of negativity, energy.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me laugh, is it could literally be as simple of, he's not gone on pre-season with us. He was with the EDS in Croatia. I'm not going to give him the full night. We're going to get Grealish in. And that could have been as simple as that. But everyone's immediately gone, he's not passed to Haaland, so Pep's annoyed with him and get him off the pitch. And the bet they've had a row at half time. And this is what happens. And this is why Twitter, it can be so vicious at times.
Yeah.
A little thing snowballs into a huge commotion.
Yeah.
And then the managers go, not like that.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if you saw this, but CM City goes, did you see Rodri and Diaz arguing just before Diaz got subbed off?
Diaz, we'll put this. Diaz has got a little bit of bite to it. Diaz didn't have a great day.
Okay.
For me. It was okay, but was the weakest guy out of the two, Abaki and him. I think I should have told you about that slip. It was sort of, he was a bit all over the place a little bit, Diaz. I don't know what it is, or he's not the Diaz we had 18 months ago. They're all looking, because last season he was a bit up and down compared to his first season. First season immense. Last season, not so much. This season has started a little bit like the one he's just finished rather than the one before. So, yeah, I kind of did.
And again, the argument, teammates are going to argue. Teammates are going to argue. Teammates are going to exchange words.
I have words with my colleagues at work.
Yeah, and it just exactly, it's needed, and then you move on past it, right?
It's an emotional game.
It's part of how things go. I didn't notice anything between Pep and Grealish. The nameless one goes last game, but I'm actually going to ask some questions with regards to that one. Ake had a good game for sure, and he's showing to be very consistent again. Now, Bernardo, the love he got from the fans, the love that he showed the fans. I've made it a point. I don't care what gets tweeted about. I don't care who says transfer pending, who says a deal or terms have been set. I don't care about any of that until it's official. But how was it for you, home fan, and seeing the reception that Silva got?
Special. Shows he's loved. I mean, don't get me wrong, we weren't singing his name for 90 minutes. I know that that's out there at the minute, that we've done this 90-minute single on Bernardo Silva. We didn't. It generally came from the South Stand, which a lot of the songs generally come from.
Yeah.
Because that's the vocal, that's the focus point where the away fans are down in that area. Now, when he warmed up, there was a song. When he came on, if there was a roof on the Etihad, the roof would have gone off. They were absolutely would have. Yeah, it was emotional. That's pretty okay. It was emotional. But it then didn't carry on for 25 minutes that it was on. Then wasn't 25 minutes of continuous singing songs. This is what I mean. You've got to be careful what you read and hear and everything else. Because I've read, and you probably read, that it was like, 30-minute round of applause and everything else. And it was, it sounded like it was Bernardo Silva Day. And it wasn't at all.
And until I was able to have shows like these, I'd have to rely on what I'm reading. But getting the source, getting the home fan.
You would probably think, if you didn't have any of this, or you would sit there and go, they sang his name for 7 minutes.
Yeah.
The lap of honor and all sorts was going on. Like, no, none of that going on.
Fair enough.
Because you know what? Some of the City fans were probably thinking, if you are going to go, this is our goodbye as well. We weren't all singing, please stay, Bernardo. It was just, we sang his name.
Yeah. No, that's a fair point. CM City goes, in my opinion, it is silly how much love Bernardo's getting. If that was Ederson, he would have been booed. Hey, that's an interesting point. Interesting point.
I've got my opinions on Bernardo. Mine are a little bit different to everybody else's. And it was just because of shows that I've done with other people, like Carl and yourself and Patrick. The other day, when I looked at Frankie de Jong's, and I've been looking at other CMs, and I've also been looking at other City players, and I've also been looking at the stats they've got, and then I've been comparing to Bernardo's. And the biggest thing I never realized was I didn't realize Bernardo was 28.
Okay.
I think that went over my head. Don't know how. I think it did. So I have a little bit. Listen, I love Bernardo, but I have a different opinion. Probably my opinion's changed.
Fair. With more information, opinions will change.
It's changed. And not because I hate Bernardo or dislike Bernardo, but I'm looking at it from a business standpoint.
Fair.
As a depreciating value.
All right. Well, let's switch gears for a little bit.
Vader games.
Okay. It's interesting what football fans kind of live through now, because we have the socials, we have Twitter Spaces, we have YouTube, we have Instagram, everything, right? Now, we're all more connected now than we've ever been. We're able to hear we're able to hear what some of our rivals are saying, where normally we wouldn't hear it, unless it would be friends of ours, but we wouldn't be in some of the conversations. What's happening right now with this 2 games, 2 draws, but even before the season even kicked off, the manager
coming, because it is funny actually.
Before the season even kicked off, this manager was talking about, it's going to be a top 4 challenge, probably already kind of looking at what City's done, and it's probably their league to win. Already pushing this underdog narrative. Now, a few injuries have happened, 2 draws have happened. despite the injuries. Should those 2 draws have happened, I would say no. But the Liverpool fans are in complete underdog, complete meltdown as to this season is no longer ours. 2 games into the season are saying this league is no longer ours. Congratulations, City. What do you think, Martin, of the mentality from this fan base, given it's 2 games in, and is it deserving of a meltdown?
I've got to
Is
be
this
so
is this hardship? Is this hardship? Is this are
no.
these tough
This
times?
is typical Liverpool. There's something we do over here, and some do it in a very nasty way. Some do it because of this reaction. Now, Liverpool fans, you probably heard it, get the victim tag thrown at them. And I don't mean that in any derogatory way to our Hills or anything like
not
that.
with relation to past. Yeah,
Nothing to do with that. I'm talking about that and because of this analogy that you just said. Because the world's against them. They give up. Klopp's blaming dry pitches, wind, sky, fire, everything in the world. And you know what? I don't think they believe it. They don't believe it.
right.
They're not stupid.
I agree.
Do I think Dave? I don't know if you remember, I was one of the very few said I thought they'd weakened and they weren't going to be as strong as what I thought they were going to be. Never thought they were going to be out of a title race. But I don't think they're as strong as much as they probably thought they were. The problem is you've got City and Liverpool have been so good over the last 4 or 5 years. Without one another, they don't do what they've done.
Yeah, that's fair.
You don't do what they've done without each other. City don't hit 98, 99, 100, 97 points without Liverpool pushing them every single ounce of the way.
Right.
And the exact same would be said from Liverpool right back.
Iron sharpens iron. I agree.
Yeah. You've got 2 fantastic teams. I've said 2 teams in Europe. Maybe that's different now with Liverpool because they do need to strengthen some more. So I think it's a mental game now. Because
I agree.
You get some people of if you don't have expectation, you don't get disappointed.
I
so
agree.
Are they protecting themselves because they think, oh, hang on a minute, right? You can't lose many games in this Premier League, and the trouble is, too many draws can be a lot worse than 1 or 2 defeats.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's exactly that. They're trying to be clever by talking about everything that's negative, by playing this underdog, by saying the league's over, conceding everything.
They brought Mane back into it. We all heard Mane was not a loss and Nunez was there. Now Mane's suddenly got it. Mane's now suddenly the missing link again. And you're like, hang on, you can't bring that back.
I agree.
Like
I agree.
Sterling's gone.
It's
daft. You can't do that.
So the approach from the fan base in terms of like the doom and gloom, I think it's very calculated. I think it is very calculated. I think, to your point, it is setting very low expectations so that now that they do more, they've now exceeded. They've done more that they were to do. But the thing is, and I'm talking to the world right now. It's easier to destroy. It's easier to be negative. It's easier to point out negativity than it is to point out reasons for success or not necessarily just be positive for the sake of being positive, but it's more difficult to create something. It's a lot easier to destroy something. So the fact that they're destroying expectations, they're destroying their the probability of having a very good season. That's easy to do because
they're
then
putting a bubble around themselves straight away. The defensive blocks up, and they're going right. Because I tell you what. Here's a question. Were they doing this last year when we were 10 points ahead at Christmas nearly?
No.
I don't
Not
remember this meltdown.
no, not to this degree. There
This
was
is 2 games.
yeah.
2 games.
You know what it was? It's because they recognized that they hadn't gone on their run yet, which everyone, whether it's a City fan, whether it's a Liverpool fan, we've all made the point of saying there's only 2 clubs that can really go on the 12, 13, 14 game win streak, let alone undefeated streak. So they knew that they had that within the season to kick off. So it was never going to be a matter of, oh, City's running away with it, because there were also games in hand. It wasn't necessarily a points lead. They were games that they just hadn't played yet. So they didn't have this.
36 games.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
There's 36 games in hand there. We're 2
Exactly.
games in. I'm
It's
not
crazy.
being funny. What has changed from 2 weeks ago? They were romping away with everything because they beat us in the Community Shield. We were crap. We weren't doing anything. All of a sudden, we're now league title champions. And by the way, we're going to win the Champions League, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup. Come on. 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
we were crap.
I know.
And Haaland was a flop that over at Leicester.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, come on. You can fool a few sometimes, but you can't fool everyone all the
Good
time.
point.
Ain't going to work that. Sorry.
Good point. Now,
Vader games.
last but not least, it's unavoidable. It's everywhere.
Oh, my favorite subject.
It is everywhere. We can't go a day without hearing about transfer rumors from their camp. We can't go a day about hearing how new manager is going to bring the glory back. But like we just finished talking about Liverpool 2 games in and the meltdown that they're having. 2 games into this season, Manchester United are
Man United.
Man United, if Liverpool's in a meltdown, this has to be, what is this? Extinction level? What's happening over at United? Because they are all over the place. I hear they're questioning the manager already. I hear the players that they had confidence in at the start of the season is now they're not good enough. I'm now hearing the whole conversation with regards to success is not possible at United because of their owners. They are all over the place. How do you feel about the state of United and their struggles right now?
The banter side of me says I love it. For me, this is nearly 40 years of frustration right back. This is me going to school as a 5-year-old, getting the mickey taken out of me at every corner, watching everyone have United bags and United tops and United socks. And, to find a City fan was like finding a needle in a haystack. They weren't around. So now, yeah, it is enjoyable. There's also, as a Mancunian, there's a tinge of sadness as well, a little bit behind it. And before anyone jumps on me and goes, I always wanted deep down, and this is madness to say this, but do you know what? I know United fans who thought the same. I would have loved, instead of this being us and Liverpool, I'd have loved to have been the us and them. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted Manchester to be the epicenter of football.
Okay.
I wanted us to be the world, the city that everyone's got their eyes on.
Manchester, the focal point.
Battle.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand that.
Monumental battle between good and evil, blue and red. We all know red's a bad color. The devil, blood, stop signs, all the nasty stuff's red. Yeah. All warning signs are red. So any United fans out there, sorry, you need to use your brain because you got warned.
Yeah.
Warning signs are red. You went and joined the red side. So I'm sorry, I have no sympathy on that one.
And there's a real science behind colors. There's a real science behind it.
Exactly. So. But sky, nice, calming, influential color. But of course, as a fan, I love it. It's great to laugh. But I do. The only thing that annoys me is, what position are they in? I don't mean now. I know the bottom of the league now. Where have they been in the last year or two? 6th, 7th?
6th. I think prior to that they were
4th. They
4th.
even had a second under Mourinho,
Yeah.
didn't they?
They had a second under Ole.
What's a crisis?
They had a second under Ole just recently.
What crisis are they in here?
Yeah.
You want to see a crisis? Come and have a chat with me. Come and have a chat. We saw Daps the other day. Come and have a chat with Rob. Have a chat with all these old City fans who sat on freezing cold frigging nights at Chesterfield and York and Wrexham watching crap football, getting beat 1-0. Sorry, then we'll have a chat about a crisis.
Fair.
Finishing 7th in the Premier League is not a crisis.
100%.
It is quite, and I'm sorry, I get quite passionate about this because it annoys me on this. They're in crisis. When I see people like all these United fan channels, and I'm not going to go naming them all, having baby meltdowns,
tantrums,
and paddies, and everything else because they didn't beat Brentford. And do you know what I've seen? The only thing I've seen this week is they need more centre backs. How many centre backs are they buying?
Yeah.
They said to us, well, you just throw £50 million down on fullbacks. You throw £70 to £80 million down on centre backs. You bring in 2 a year.
Yeah.
They've got Lindelof, Bailly, Maguire, who was 80, Martinez, the other guy that brought. Come on.
You know what they have? They have rich people problems. Like when I hear of their fans complaining about the state that they're in and, not being at the status of what they say United is, it's rich people problems. And it's funny also in entitlement, spoiled brat, privileged. It's all of those things. And I find it very ironic when I do hear some of those fans saying, but we're United, but this club should be better. This club should not be doing this. This is not what I'm accustomed to. This is not the United that.
Have you ever actually said to him, why do you deserve better?
I haven't asked them, but me being
and they won't be able to tell you. The only thing they'll say is because we're Man United.
Right.
That's the answer you'll get back because we're Man United.
But it also speaks to depending on the type of fan that you are talking about and when they did come on board with their fandom, because if their time has been the Fergie time, it's one of the best times.
If they've done Busby Babes and all that and Fergie, then yeah.
Right.
But you'll generally find that someone who does Busby Babes is a lot more humble.
Okay.
Very, very humble. Because they have seen bad times. My dad was at Old Trafford when Dennis Law relegated him. Okay. So United have been a lot worse. This is why
but the ones that are having the meltdown aren't part of that group. The ones that are like freaking out.
Yeah, this is the problem. We're back to a generational thing, aren't we? It's like me as the old dinosaur, get out of my club legacy fan, to the new fan that's on the block and demands the Champions League. And me going, I ain't bothered about the Champions League. I'll have the Premier League. Well, you don't want us to be a big club. What? Hang on, what? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It
is a generational difference. Now, I'm on the side where United can burn. And again, maybe it's because
no, I would like that as well. Yeah, I would like that. I'm not saying I wouldn't.
Because I'm not forgetting the banner that they had within their stands, mocking the lack of success that City was having. The banner. So I'm not wishing for it, but I don't care. The tantrums, the screaming, the yelling, the now talk that I'm hearing with regards to some protests, it can all happen.
Well, there's a relegation battle on Sunday, Monday, whenever it is. There'll be no one in the ground to watch it but Liverpool fans. This is what makes me... what makes me laugh is because we have it with Rich on our channel. Rich is like, they're going to get relegated. And I'm like, they're not, Rich. They're not, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But the scary thing is, mate, say I know this Elon Musk thing was a load of garbage and they fell for it.
Yeah, that's next level. That's the next level.
If that had have happened, you would have seen a different United in the end. I'm not saying it is the Glazers' fault. It's not. I never buy into the Glazers have not spent.
It's not that
Every
easy.
time the United fans have demanded, they've got.
Yeah.
They wanted Pogba, they got. They wanted all these centre backs, they got. They wanted, at the time, Wan-Bissaka was the best right back in the Premier League, if we all like to believe.
Yeah.
They got. I'm not being funny. Every manager they wanted out, they got out. Every manager they wanted in, they got in. They've now got B-Tech Pep. Now B-Tech Pep today is apparently too hard on the players and treats them like babies. So he's now looking at going out the door. Come on, do you know what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
They wanted Ronaldo. Do you remember the big hoo-ha when Ronaldo rejected City, even though we never actually made a bid? But rejected City and Rio Ferdinand, Ferguson, all over the TV gloating about how they won up Manchester City. 12 months later, fairy tales into a disaster. So, do you know what? Sometimes you got to look at yourself and you got to realize I don't think the Glazers, yes, they're at fault. They hire the chief execs. Because we all know that Edward Wood was anchor for, yourself where he was from, because you're over on that side of the pond. So we all know where that was all from. So I just, and you know what? I don't even feel sorry for them, Vader. Because you know what makes me laugh? If they are still the biggest team in the world, value-wise, they got sold tomorrow, we are talking billions.
Yeah.
We ain't talking small chump change here.
No.
They have the biggest revenues. They have the biggest everything else. Do you know where it's gone wrong? Is on the field. Yes, the cream off the top. Yes, they have a debt. But if someone come in and bought them, that debt's gone tomorrow.
Yeah, and the debt isn't what's affecting the play on the pitch. It has nothing to do with the play on the pitch. Yes, you can argue that maybe better people should have been hired to make those decisions, but to simply say we are failing, simply say we are failing because of our owners, that is nonsense. I'm not listening to it. Yeah, absolutely.
They've spent more money than us. But then the excuse is, well, it's our own revenue. Well, if it's your own revenue, why are you moaning if you're still the biggest club in the world revenue-wise? We beat them for one season on Forbes under a pandemic. According to Forbes, it looks like United are going to go back to the top and we'll be back second or third. Fine. Listen, I'm not in a rat race to who's worth more money. I ain't bothered. I don't walk around with a shirt on saying we're worth more than you. I don't give a toss about that. I'm not a fan of Manchester City. Told you this before, I'm not a CFG fan. I'm a Manchester City fan. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I don't go out and look what New York doing and Melbourne. And it's brilliant for the thing.
Yeah, it's the overall, but it's not what the love's about it. I agree.
It's like Bolivia. I don't look at Girona or the Bolivian team or Yokohama, and that's not me being really bad. I occasionally will have a little look, but that's not what I'm Manchester City.
And again, viewers, everyone that tuned in, it is about Manchester City. That's where the love is. That's what we emphasize. When we see what's happening with regards to rivals, again, it can be entertaining. We don't wish it upon them, but at the same time, don't care. It's about our club. So this home and away, episode 6, I'm loving the feedback. I'm loving the encouragement that I'm getting, and I love the fact that I'm able to have guests like Martin on here. If there's anything else in the future that you would like me to ask some of my home fans, please let me know in the comments. Please make sure you also go to the Mancunian Way, subscribe, check out the content. I'm looking to be a part. I'm hoping my best. Apologies. I'm hoping my best to be a part of the show later on today, Mancunian Way. Go subscribe and definitely check it out. Make sure you get those notifications. Martin, I want to thank you for being on the show, man. I know you have to work around your schedule to make it happen. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
I hope you go ahead.
It is a pleasure, mate, to be on. I've always said this to you, you know, when we came across each other as a happy coincidence in the end. And I DM'd you yesterday privately, and I meant what I said in that. Exactly what I said about being part of the channel. Is you'll never need an invite from me or the rest of the gang. You will always, if you're available and you want to come on there, I've told you there's a seat waiting for you at the Etihad, and I will show you around if you can ever get over. That is a genuine offer. That's not me just saying it. You know, and that's I love this community of Manchester City that we're building, and I want to build this to the moon because I want Manchester City to grow.
Yeah,
I you know, and I've got so I'm gonna know you want to shoot. Just give me 1 minute every time. I've got a big show coming up in a week or two that I've waited a year to do, and I'm sort of wording it. Like I said, I want you on. I've got looks like Daps about to come in. I've got a few things going on, and I'm telling you, if it all comes up, it will explain perfectly how the channel and Manchester City should be together. Because we're a community, we're a family. And I don't buy into all this because you live 5,000 miles away, you don't care about the club. I ever ask of fans is, as a legacy fan, is please research the club. That's all I ever ask. You do. I don't just someone who jumps on the bandwagon and goes, Champions League, please. Sorry, don't work that way, sunshine. But no, please hit a like and a subscribe onto this man. He's fast becoming a very big legend, and you need to show him some love.
I appreciate that.
He's an amazing guy. So please show him some love.
And show Martin some love.
Hopefully he can be with me tonight.
I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my best.
Transfer special.
a lot of talks. It's never slow with City. This is what's crazy. It's never slow with City. Tune in to the Mancunian Way. Support Martin. Check him out on Twitter as well. All the links are going to be in the description of this stream. And I want to thank you all for the comments. Sean, CM City, the nameless one, Edison, and
CM
Charlie.
City, Sean, I'll see you later. Sean, can I just say Sean is at 2-3 in the morning, by the way.
Oh man, I appreciate the love and the support. Hit the notification, know when we're live next, and thank you all for the support and the interaction.